Raylene wrote to me saying, what are you guys willing to overpay for? Now, overpay, I'm interpreting overpay as not skimp on, not seek the cheapest way out. Overpaying is sort of relative, right? I mean, it's subjective. What are we talking about? Overpaying relative to what? Now, if the question is, when do I not go for the cheapest thing? I have a few ideas. I've talked to people who have had LASIK, and they often say, I got estimates. I received estimates at a number of places. And I decided not to go with the cheapest one because when somebody is going to do that to your eyes, something just doesn't feel right about going with the lowest bidder. And the funny thing is, our government, in many ways, many buildings that are built, many aircraft designs or aircraft engines, so many things in our world that we say we would like to imagine were really done by the most competent person, were given as a contract to the lowest bidder. We don't want to forget that, Lewis, but still, LASIK and medical treatments are often something people tell me I wouldn't just go with the lowest bidder on.
Yes. I think tattoos is like that, right? You don't want to cheap out.
I had that on my list.
On a tattoo.
I was going to go with you on that. Like if you bring a tattoo design to 10 different places, does it make sense to go with the cheapest one? I don't know. I don't know enough about tattoos, but my guess would be not.
Usually I find that certain places are charging more because they can back that up with their work. But for me, I find that I'm not bothered by overpaying, or occasionally I will actually seek out more expensive options, or if you will, luxurious options when I'm traveling.
Really?
So when I'm traveling, I might just not be worried too much about whether or not I'm overpaying.
Right. Okay. But and this applies to what? Anything? Restaurants or accommodations?
Pretty much everything.
Bus travel, whatever.
Pretty much everything. Of course, I will never just say, oh, this hotel is $600 a night. That sounds good. No, I'm not going to go completely overboard.
What about, and this refers to the picture you have up here, Lewis, what about groceries and produce? I mean, there is no doubt that there are some items at Whole Foods which are drastically overpriced. They are indistinguishable in terms of taste and ingredients and production from a similar item at Trader Joe's, which might be half the price. However, when it comes to other areas, produce, for example, or meat and fish, you can see Trader Joe's doesn't carry a lot of those products, but you can sometimes see a pretty significant difference in terms of how the produce looks and tastes at Whole Foods versus a local grocery store. And we have some examples of that here in Boston. Is that an area where you're okay paying more?
Well, I'm in this weird situation where I really have no choice but to overpay for groceries. Because unless you tell me you're going to Trader Joe's and I get a ride with you, I'm pretty much paying top dollar for groceries.
Okay.
But I used to seek out the cheaper things because groceries is one of those things like Trader Joe's where you can seek out cheaper products and still get the same level of quality.
Right.
But depending on what I wanted, I might end up at Whole Foods overpaying. Produce is one example, yes, or certain I don't know, how would you say, obscure things that I might not be able to find elsewhere.
Yep, that makes sense. No, and I think increasingly there's a tendency in the United States spends as a portion of income, a really low portion of income on food compared to many other countries. Now, I'm not talking about absolute dollars because that would differ from country to country, but as a percentage of your monthly budget, the U.S. tends to spend less on groceries than many other countries. And that's probably reflected in health, in obesity, in diet, and in a number of ways. Now, what about at a restaurant where you can add avocado to your sandwich or burger or whatever for $1.50 or $2, and it's 2 or 3 slices of avocado that are clearly 15 to 20 cents if you consider what an avocado costs at a grocery store? Are you that into, Lewis, adding avocado to your restaurant meal that you're willing to pay $2 for 3 slices of avocado on your burger?
Usually, no.
Right.
However, if I feel that the avocado is going to add a lot to whatever it is I'm eating,
right,
and I'm in the mood,
yeah,
I might, but it's very rare that I do that.
What about a mattress? A lot of times the big pitch when you go to a mattress store, the salesmen say, it feels like a lot of money, but you spend a third of your life on this thing. Doesn't it make sense to have one that is really, really good? And that can be a compelling argument, but I find that you don't need to spend an insane amount on your mattress. There are relatively well-priced mattress options currently.
Yes. So, but it's kind of like the law of diminishing returns, right? Once you reach a certain price point, you're not getting that much more for your money with mattresses. And so the really opulent, over-the-top mattresses I find to be completely unnecessary. But I will not cheap out on a mattress. I mean, I will buy a nice mattress because for a very long time, when I was young, my mom would just buy the cheapest pieces of crap mattresses you can imagine.
Right.
And I mean, these things are terrible. And once I finally was able to sleep in a nice bed, I mean, the difference was incredible, Dave.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people say, my mattress seems fine. I don't see how it could be that much better. And then you sleep on a better mattress and you realize how much better it is. Now, when I say that's what people say, that's never happened to me. I've never actually experienced that. I've always had like medium price mattresses and they've always been good. And now that we received that free Casper mattress when Casper was advertising on the show, that's a slightly more expensive mattress. It's good, but still, it's not drastically better than the one I had before, which was cheaper.
Yeah, but you did not have the really cheap
Ultra
stuff.
cheap. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I didn't.
So, I mean, yeah, medium range is fine.
All right, send me your thoughts. Send me questions you want us to answer for you. And of course, if you don't want the show to end right now, doesn't have to. We have this thing called membership, which includes the bonus show. And you can sign up at davidpakman.com/membership.